What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent day today. What an insane 48 hours we have had, not only just for cryptocurrency, but for the traditional markets as well. We have seen GameStop absolutely skyrocketing, getting shut down, Robinhood not allowing people to buy the stock. Then we saw Dogecoin pump. Then Elon Musk came out and put Bitcoin in his profile, and everybody went crazy. Bitcoin went all the way up almost to $40,000. Today, we're back down another 7%. The majority of the top cryptos in the red again today. Lots of people asking the question, was this bearish for Bitcoin? The fact that even with the Elon Musk pump, we still came back down to these lower levels. Now, I'm just going to point out that before the pump, we were sitting at around $32,000. We're still sitting higher than that today, but should you be worried? Is this something of concern? Because not only that, but we have also seen Bitcoin miners starting to send a lot of Bitcoin to the exchanges, and this is making a lot of people think that these guys are looking to sell, looking to cash out. This could be it. We could be in for a long sideways movement. Well, I'm going to set all of those rumors to rest today because Bitcoin is actually entering what may be known as the fourth phase of adoption, and this could be absolutely massive. I want to tell you why Bitcoin and DeFi is looking to continue to boom. And some people are talking about the next GameStop or Doge. Well, we're going to talk about that today. If that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you are not subscribed, definitely consider it. Today's video is going to be super quick. Every day we talk about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, the best way to potentially make monies in these markets, as well as current events. And if you're a subscriber that's been around for a while, well, I don't have to tell you what we do on this channel. Now, I do want to point out that we have still maintained above the 50 daily moving average. So far, this doesn't look that bad. And keep in mind that we did break out of the falling wedge. And I just want to point out that we came down here and we actually had a perfect retest of this VPVR level around 32,652. You can see we had the wick right here. So when you really have a look at it on the short term, it was a little bit crazy that we had this, insane wick. Obviously, a lot of that did have to do with Elon Musk. Fundamentally, Bitcoin is stronger than ever. Having a look right here, we are still bouncing off a very critical technical level. Although I do want to point out that if we do lose this and we do come back into, this, if we fall below this resistance flip support right here, this yellow line, and we fall back into this triangle area, then I still do think that the previous analysis of potentially going down to $25,000 is still in play. I know yesterday things got crazy and we got super, exuberant, and keep in mind, I am still bullish on the price of Bitcoin, but we need to maintain above this level. The first level is around 34,000, and the next level is around 36,580. You can see I have it marked out right here. Technically, we kind of sort of put in a higher high short term, but I would argue that these are almost the exact same price levels, give or take the wick. So I haven't really seen the price breaking structure just yet. I have seen in the past Bitcoin putting in a double bottom, where we have a double bottom, we pump, and then we come down here and we put in another double bottom, making a giant double bottom, and that could be the case too. I've seen that lots of times in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Also, for a lot of people out there that feel like they're missing out in some of these traditional stock opportunities, you're sitting in crypto, but you don't have any way to really get in on these stocks, you can actually head over to Prime XBT. I told you guys about this the other day. Prime XBT allows you to trade some of these, indexes. You could trade oil. You can actually trade different types of currencies. You could do Forex. You can do For example, they have the NASDAQ, they have the S&P 500, they have the UK 100 index. What else do they have over here? Yeah, crude. They have a lot of different things. Check it out. And you can trade all of these using Bitcoin. So kind of cool. You can get exposure to some of the traditional assets, but you don't ever have to really let go of your Bitcoin, right? So if you want, head over to Prime XBT and check that out. Also, they do have co-vesting, which I do recommend a little bit of caution, a little bit of research on your behalf, but you can follow other traders essentially just by clicking follow. For example, you could see Mossy, he's got an 8,000% total profit, Bitcoin on the move. Doritos, who I actually speak to, he's in the Telegram. He's totally full. You can't even follow him. He's up 354%. So yeah, check out co-vesting, guys. I do have a link below in the description, but if you check it out, make sure that when you use the link below, once you get signed up, that you go over to the promos and enter CryptoZombie, because that is going to give you 50% bonus. So if you deposit 1 Bitcoin, they will give you half to trade. So check that out, guys. But please make sure, by the way, I just want to take this opportunity to also let you guys know there are a ton of scammers in the comments. Make sure that if you see a comment from CryptoZombie, it says CryptoZombie and it's highlighted just like this with a check mark. Anything else is a scammer. Now that I got that out of the way, and I just wanted to bring that up because a lot of people were wondering how they could get exposure to the traditional markets. Thank you for sticking around. Back to the charts. Now, this candle is looking ugly once again. It looked really great when we were back around 39, but now we are seeing more selling pressure. We only have one more day until the monthly close. This could signal that this is potentially a short-term top, as you can see right here. That was from yesterday. But one thing I did want to point out, having a look at the futures chart, we are actually still above the previous resistance flip support. Now, keep in mind the reason that the futures chart looks different is because it does not trade on weekends. Therefore, it is only showing you 5 days per week, okay? That's where sometimes we get these gaps. Now, we do have a gap down here, and this gap is around $24,000, which is kind of interesting because I did say that there was a potential that we could come down here and actually retest this $25,000 level. And I'm not saying that that's out of the cards just yet. Either one of these would both still be bullish for Bitcoin, but having a look right here, the fact that we have this resistance acting as support 1, 2, 3 times, you could take that as some strength for Bitcoin. The fact that it is acting like a natural market, right? We have had a nice, it is looking like a bit of a double top, but the fact that we are holding here nicely on the support gets me pretty excited. But what doesn't get me and other people excited is the fact that we have Bitcoin miner outflows at record highs. Transactions from all miners to exchanges hit a yearly high. Not to mention the fact that the hedge funds are currently very, very short on Bitcoin right now. Now, you guys know what to do, right? You guys know what to do. This is, you want to stick it to the man, buy Bitcoin, right? That's what they were doing with the other things. But yeah, I mean, they are currently short Bitcoin. So you can either, hop on the bandwagon and try to short Bitcoin with these guys, which, they might be able to push the price down. We could be seeing some selling pressure in the next, couple weeks or so. Or you could stick it to the man and buy Bitcoin. So that's what I'd be doing. I mean, personally, dollar cost averaging is the way to go. And interestingly enough, according to Marshall Hayner, CEO of crypto payment solution MetalPay, Bitcoin has met a 4th wave of adoption. He noted that Bitcoin has reached all-time highs over the past months, and he believes that Bitcoin's popularity and the fact that it was the oldest and most liquid Bitcoin is driving corporations to see that it is a hedge against inflation. He says he calls it the 4th wave. The first 3 waves where exuberance, speculation, utility, and finally, we have acceptance. And we are seeing acceptance right now. He says, I expect Bitcoin and smaller cap altcoins to absolutely blow some minds in 2021. In addition, I'm expecting some major utility, especially around stablecoins, NFT, innovative decentralized lending, trading models. Oracles, I think, are still going to be big, and payment solutions. And actually, I do have some altcoins that I'm going to go over a little bit later in the video that kind of tie in to this sort of DeFi expansion explosion movement. But before we get into that, another reason why I don't think that you should be worried about the Bitcoin price, medium term, short term, could get a little bit crazy. But we obviously have Michael Saylor having the Miami conference in February. He also says that they're going to open source their corporate playbook, which is an array of documents, covering governance, legal, financial, technical, and accounting considerations. Get the briefing and early access on their conference coming up on February 3rd and 4th. And you can see right here, they do have a little bit over on their website right now that you can look at. But this is definitely huge. I think it's going to be a massive, massive opportunity for these Fortune 500 companies to really get an opportunity to learn more about it and realize the significance of potentially putting Bitcoin onto their balance sheet. Now, you have had guys like Tim Draper. He's obviously a billionaire. He owns about 30,000 Bitcoin, which is absolutely insane. He even commented to Elon Musk jokingly saying that he would pay for a Tesla using Bitcoin. And the funny thing about him is that he has actually been an advocate for hodling and not so much selling. In fact, just recently in an interview in CNBC, this is what he had to say.
Do you have a strategy where that's concerned with Bitcoin?
No, I'm actually just buying more. The thinking is that over time, we're going to be able to spend it. And I have no interest in ever selling my Bitcoin for dollars. Why would I take the currency of the future and sell it for the currency of the past? I mean, do I want like Confederate dollars? No. So I'm looking to continue to build on my currency of the future, but long term, I'm in the venture capital business. I'd like to put this Bitcoin to work. And I think that the regulators are going to recognize that this is a valuable way for people to conduct business, and they get their tax dollars, they get their share.
Okay.
And with my business, I can actually raise money in Bitcoin, invest it into a bunch of companies in Bitcoin, have them pay their employees and suppliers in Bitcoin, and the whole thing keeps a perfect record of everybody's financials all the way through. So I can see how my portfolios are doing. I can identify
I love that. Hey,
possible risks.
I mean, whatever one might believe,
you
can pay in Bitcoin too.
Investors in Bitcoin on a smart contract that then filters through the waterfall on a smart contract. So I don't need to have a transfer agent. I don't need to have the audit.
Gotcha.
I don't have to have the accountants. I don't have to have the bookkeepers. It's all done right there on the blockchain. This is
you clearly believe in it, and the fact that you are just adding, even as high as Bitcoin has gone, speaks to that. Tim Draper, thank you.
Was it just me, or did it kind of seem like that news anchor reporter dude was kind of cutting him off a lot? I found that to be quite rude. Let the man speak. But someone who has been quite vocal and critical about Bitcoin, saying that he would rather own bananas over Bitcoin, has been Mark Cuban. And he recently came out and said DeFi, not Robinhood, gives money back to users. So he's even part of the boycott Robinhood movement. You can see actually scrolling down here, he talks about, I mean, just really to cut it super quick and dry, essentially the fact that when you use these, even if you're shorting it, you know, these guys are taking a fee. Whereas if you use a decentralized model and you are, you know, let's say like a liquidity provider or something like that, you actually will make the percentage based on the trading happening on the decentralized protocol, right? This is why things like Uniswap have absolutely blown up, not only in just price, but also utility. How many of you have actually used Uniswap? In fact, if you've used Uniswap, just comment below, yes, I've used Uniswap. I bet it's the majority of people watching. If you haven't, by the way, Uniswap is great. Not promoted by Uniswap in any way. I just literally actually like using Uniswap. So talking super quick about the types of projects, the types of DeFi, and the future of crypto, you know, NFTs, oracles, things like that. One of the projects that I told you guys literally at the bottom, I mean, I couldn't have even planned it any better, was Alliance Block. And the reason that I like what Alliance Block is doing is because they are connecting the real world to the digital world. We need that connection. We need a way to seamlessly integrate the real financial, you know, traditional infrastructures to the decentralized platforms. Now, they have had a little bit of a pullback. I think they were over $1 at one point. Yeah, guys, I mean, when I spoke about them, I literally told you right down here before the explosion, they have had a bit of an explosive move. Should you get into it now? Probably not. Probably the time to get into it before was earlier, but there are a lot of upcoming projects. By the way, I'm not saying that I don't think that they're a great project. I think Alliance Block is a great project. I think that the time to really get in was when I first mentioned it. But some of the other projects I've told you guys about is Marlin, for example. They have the token Pond. Now, I really like what Marlin is doing because they are allowing anyone really that wants to get into this to use an SDK to be able to build these different applications. Let's be honest, not everybody is a coder. Not everybody knows what they're doing, but some people have really great ideas. So they're helping to program the network infrastructure for DeFi as well as buzzword Web 3.0, which I talked about yesterday and why I think it's going to be absolutely massive. They talk about some of the issues that they're addressing: scalability, decentralization, anonymity, and, some of the things that you could do by using their programmable routers that they talk about is, for example, you could launch your own VPN. You could launch your own relay network. You could also launch your own anonymity network. They talk about networked bandwidth, extensible architecture. Yeah, so obviously it's a little bit more complex, but you do need those building blocks. You do need the infrastructures. You do need the SDKs, and I think Marlin is actually solving a much needed problem out there. Currently, they are up a little bit today. They're only up about 0.4%. Around a $21 million market cap. I still think that there is a lot of potential. If you actually have a look at this chart right here, it hasn't really had too much hype just yet, although it has put in a short-term high or low. I still think it's early for these guys. I think there's a lot more growth potentially for Marlin. Another project that I told you guys about, I told you guys about Linear when they were in their ICO phase. These guys are really helping to, in their actual words, they're saying they want to bring a synthetic asset exchange that is easy to use, fast, cost efficient, while maintaining cross-chain compatibility. And this is built on Binance Smart Chain, right? So they actually did recently launch their Linear exchange. Obviously, it's just started. They don't have a ton of assets on it just yet, but you can see they have BNB, Bitcoin, Polkadot, Chainlink, Tron. Also, they have some commodities as well. They have gold and silver in here if you're interested. They don't have any indexes just yet, but the cool thing about them is that their synthetic assets that are being built on them, they're going to be able to be swapped to ERC20, so you can go back and forth between BSC and ETH DeFi ecosystem. And I think you guys know by now, I'm a huge proponent when it comes to interoperability, right? Cross-chain compatibility. There's so many chains out there, but they don't have the ability to communicate. So we need the ability to be able to move these assets from chain to chain. So that is definitely something to consider. These guys are up. They're around a $35 million market cap. They have had a pretty good run. Not going to lie, since we first mentioned them, so be careful about this as well. Obviously, look for those pullbacks, look to dollar cost average. These aren't, types of things necessarily to rush into. Another one that I mentioned was Exceed Me. I am huge on NFTs. Gaming, for example, is going to be huge. For them specifically, they are helping gamers to be able to monetize themselves in a decentralized manner, get paid for doing what you love, right? Playing video games. And this is also being built on Polkadot, so I'm sure you're not surprised that I have a little bit of a bias towards this project. Currently today, they are actually down, and I actually know why they're down today. It's because some of the initial investors got their tokens released today. Actually, it might even be, is it lower or higher? It's about the same since before. So this could dump a little bit lower, as some of these guys that got in early are actually looking to sell their coins, which is fine. That's good because that's unloading some big, heavy bags to the potential people that are long-term believers. I actually hold some of this. I'm not selling at this level. This is 15 million. I think that this could easily 10x. I think it's solving a huge problem right now. You've seen the gaming market, it's just exploded in my lifetime. I would have never thought that gaming could have become something as big as it is today. And, the problem is even, to be honest with you guys, with YouTube takes so much revenue from YouTubers. It's insane. Even just, for example, when you do live streams, a lot of people don't know this, but say when you tip someone on a live stream, like you send them a super chat for like $10, do you know YouTube takes almost half of that? I know, because I used to do a lot of live streaming. It is an absolute scam. So this gives money back to the individual. It puts money, back to where it belongs, back to the actual creators, the gamers, the people that deserve, to own it. And also, you guys, you can stake the XED token as well, and there are rewards for that. So those are just some of the projects that I'm looking at, guys. Obviously, some of them might be a little bit some of them have had their movement, but the thing is fundamentally, these are the ones that I'm looking at. They're the ones that I believe in. But as we do move forward, there are a lot of other projects that have not even come out yet. I told you about some of them in yesterday's video. Paralink, not even out yet. They're not even on exchanges. Umbrella is another one that I'm looking at. That's not even on exchanges yet. So, the best opportunities obviously come getting into the cryptocurrencies early before everyone else. And I do think that we could be in the fourth wave of Bitcoin. I do think that DeFi is still set to explode. I am not currently worried about this price action, right? What happened here. The fact that, what's crazy is we actually dumped down to these previous levels. We are kind of at that $34,000 resistance. But like I said, guys, it is still possible to go down to 25,000. But this is what I want you to take away from this video. I am not bearish. I wouldn't, if you've bought Bitcoin recently and maybe you're down on your investment, I wouldn't be freaking out. I think it's an excellent opportunity to accumulate. And, everybody in hindsight looks back and $10,000 Bitcoin was too expensive. And then Bitcoin went to 20K. And then 20K Bitcoin was too expensive. And then Bitcoin went to 30K. And then 30K Bitcoin was too expensive and it went to $42,000. Now, yes, we have had a pullback, but it's only a matter of time until Bitcoin is sitting at 55,000, 100,000, 250,000, and inevitably, which I do believe will happen, is the $1 million Bitcoin. You can mark my words that we will see a $1 million Bitcoin in our lifetime. And then any of the time to accumulate up to that point always seems silly. So at the end of the day, I talked about altcoins today. You guys know how I feel. I don't like to shill altcoins. That's not my thing on this channel. There are potential opportunities to make a lot of money, but also be safe and realize that, in my opinion, it's always probably in your best interest, not financial advice, to hold some Bitcoin just as a hedge, right? Altcoins are for wealth generation and Bitcoin is for wealth preservation. That's kind of the motto that I've always had. So, thank you for coming back to the channel. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. Be safe out there and don't FOMO into these pumps. These, Dogecoin. I mean, it's a joke. It's a meme, right? We all have fun. Dogecoin pumps once or twice every year, but it is a joke coin, right? It's a meme. So understand that at the end of the day, it is what it is. And you really want to look for those things that are really, changing the infrastructure, working on the protocol levels, actually helping DeFi, progress forward. Ethereum, Polkadot, Elrond is a great project, right? So that's it for me. You guys rock. My name's K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.